Wow. Let's keep things brutally honest, yeah. This was not the most entertaining game of football by a long margin. I mean, at times I found that was quite fascinating tactically, but for most of the game, for most of the duration, it was really testing my limits. I can't understand why this game had to be like this. Frank Lampard is tired of us conceding goals, being sloppy, making crazy mistakes too that ruin our game plans and obviously stop us from, getting the results that we deserve, in my personal opinion. So it does feel like Lampard is maybe taking things back to Route 1, getting the team to work hard together, to work on their defensive positioning. And to be honest, I thought the defensive display today, again, this is probably the best one of the season. And I felt like we've been saying this for so many games throughout the season so far already, and that's quite a positive thing. This is a massive improvement from last season where, we approached these games with very different dynamics. We were looking to really just attack, flood men forwards and just really, batter United down and batter teams of that caliber down to hopefully get the results. Of course, when you play against quality opposition, if you afford the space at the back, you're going to get countered, you're going to lose games, and we paid the price of that time and time again. So for the first time under Frank Lampard, it really finally does feel like we have a proper defense now. And before I get into that, you guys, of course, I'm in the FC. This is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm bringing you guys the match review of our 0-0 draw against Manchester United away. So if you guys like today's video, smash that like button. I'm going to go over 2,500 likes, and without wasting any more time, we're going to start with the lineup first. Now, of course, we saw a bit of a surprise tactical selection. We saw the back five return back. Now, we saw Azpilicueta, Zuma and Thiago Silva, with Ben and Reece James playing as our wing backs too. And I have to say that every single one of those guys at the back, they were immense today. The organisation, their, reactive and proactive styles of defending too. I really felt like United didn't really have much joy against us. Yeah, they tested our keeper with, lots of put shots from outside the box, but I really felt like our defense marshaled Manchester United's attack. Now, tactically, this did make a ton of sense against Man United's front three. Lampard wants to go man to man. Of course, Zuma, Silva, Aspie going up against Rashford, Bruno, and I forgot the other. Daniel James, who was probably the worst player on the field today. Let's keep things real. And I felt like once we did that, we had extra defensive support from our wing backs. Now, I think this is a good time to start praising some of these guys individually, starting with the wingback. I thought Ben and I thought Reece James were excellent, in particular with Reece James. Now, he had a difficult game today. Man United were really targeting his flank down that side. And again, Reece has proven for me that this kid, he's got world-class potential. I think it's abundantly clear to see the way he composes himself in that field, the way he carries himself. I mean, who's going to be knocking Pogba out of the way in a 50-50? Only someone like Reece James, and I felt like Luke Shaw had a very difficult time keeping up with him. He was too strong, too fast, too technical, too quick with his thoughts, and the attacking outlet he provides for the team with his world-class distribution inside the box. I think honestly, it's some of the best crossing that I've personally seen, especially at this club. I've seen so many wingers and fullbacks and wingbacks here, and I feel like maybe Reece is the best one I've seen when it comes to crossing the ball inside the box. So again, this guy is having an amazing season. He is stepping up so much, and I really feel like we have a truly promising guy on our hands right now. And of course, Ben down that left-hand side, instant upgrades to your Emersons and your Alonsos. The way he dealt with Wan-Bissaka, I mean, dealt is, it's a very strong word. He didn't deal with him, but he was easily able to manage with him and cope against him. If this was some of our other fullbacks, as we've seen before, with some of their individual mistakes, things would have been a lot more testing for us. But right now, you guys, it really does feel like, okay, we didn't realize we had a defense, but I think it's quite clear to see now that we do have a back five, back six, whatever, that can stop the goals going in these tight and these tense games. So this was a very good game to see from them. Just thinking of some individual moments. One that really stood out for me was when Thiago Silva stopped Cavani at the near post, and I was just thinking immediately, of course, Thiago Silva knows Cavani's game inside and out. He knows where Cavani's going to be, world-class defending, and the way that Thiago's come in and really organised our defence, I mean, it's been beautiful to see. I've always felt like Zuma, he's someone that needs a leader beside him. Zuma's not the most vocal person, and it's okay if he's not. Not everyone can be the most perfect player in every single attribute. It doesn't work like that. But I think right now we signed the player in Thiago, who's really communicating. He's constantly organizing. He's controls. He's starting the play from the back, which is the most important thing. The amount of excellent balls he was playing between the lines, helping us beat the pressure from Man United, getting the balls in behind their press, it was excellent. And I feel like now we do have a defense. And just so I can just complete speaking about these guys, of course, I have to speak about our new goalkeeping signing in Edouard Mendy. Now, he had that one slight little accident that happened. I wouldn't say nervy moment, because Mendy looks like a very composed guy. He looks like he can handle that pressure very easily. And other than that small little minor thing, which maybe you could blame down to the pitch being very slick and wet, he's showing in his few handful of games that he is a better goalkeeper than Kepa. That save he made against Rashford right at the ends. You guys, I got up. I started applauding, and just the confidence that it provides with defense, knowing that you can trust your goalkeeper. Let's say if you're in very difficult situations, in the context of the game, and you need to rely on him. We have that now in Edouard Mendy. He made great saves. His handling inside the box from set pieces too. His passing out from the back. We have a proper serious goalkeeper, and the fact that we spend 70 million on Kepa, we've given him nearly 200,000 wages per week as well. Absolutely unreal and crazy, considering that Mendy is on of course the absolute fraction compared, and he's on a different level to Kepa already. Again, excellent signing. I'm so happy to see how he continues his development. He's really handling the Premier League very well. He's very, he's quickly transitioned from League One football to the Premier League, and it feels like we've signed a very serious goalkeeper to follow the legacies of guys like your Kudacinis, your Ed De Hoys, your Petr Cech, your Courtois, etc., etc. And there you guys, there were some of the positive things out the way from the game. Now, of course, just like I'm sure all you guys were as well, I was a bit disappointed to see that there wasn't so much creative attacking ability today. I understand why though. We had to take a man away from further upfield to bring a man back down, because right now it is important that the team know how to defend and how to keep solid. I think for too long we've been making these mistakes. It can't keep continuing anymore, and naturally that's going to affect your attacking play, because so often I felt like we were that man short to really break down Manchester United. In the first half, we were in control of possession, moving that ball from left to right, looking to, create opportunities out wide to isolate Man United players in, dangerous areas as well. And even though we were in control, it was hard to play through that and break them down. And to be honest, I do think that this 0-0 result, it really is a fair result for both teams. I think that when you reflect on the game, both teams from a tactical perspective, they did cancel each other out. You could see throughout the entire game, it was very difficult for both teams to build that pressure through their midfield and, find their defenders, finding passes to the midfield players, because both teams were blocking out those lanes to prevent that from happening, forcing the balls out wide, where things became a lot more 50-50, things became a lot more tight. And of course, it was harder to, find those attacking avenues when you're in areas of the field that aren't very dangerous. So I thought that it was a tough game. Both teams did play well. They both put in a shift today, and it's good to see that we can compete in this type of game. And when it comes to it, we can harken back to that old style of playing, because for me, this was the first game under Frank Lampard that kind of felt like watching Chelsea games from previous seasons under managers like your Contes and your Mourinhos, where we would sit back a bit and, especially away from home, sit back, allow the pressure onto us, and hopefully break these teams down on the counter-attack. That wasn't to be the case today, and I don't know, judging by how in the first half we had Werner, Kai Havertz and Pulisic, and in the second half it was Tammy, Mason Mount and Ziyech, I did feel like I was hoping to see a bit more from Kai Havertz. I understand that it gets a bit difficult playing in so many different roles so early on in your new career. I completely understand that, and I'm not angry about the performance whatsoever. I was just hoping for a bit more of something, I guess. But at the same time, Kai still needs to adapt to the Premier League and his new surroundings, and we're still probably at least a few months away until we are at that level that I think we can be on. I thought maybe Werner, he was looking frustrated at times, not getting the service he wanted. It was very hard for him to get into the game. At times, I felt like his dribbling was maybe, the quality wasn't always on point. He was mainly carrying the ball away from danger out wide, and I was hoping to see a bit more ingenuity when it came to going at his man 1v1. Of course, this is the game where I'm not going to be too harsh because, ideally there's another Cam playing alongside these guys, and then I think that fluidity with them would have been a lot better. Christian Pulisic, I thought that, again, he's slowly getting back to his best form too. He's still going to need a bit of time. I like that from a defensive point of view. He was very on point. He was working very hard. He was tracking back to help out Ben down that left hand side as well. And Lampard did allow Pulisic to start down the left at times, and of course start down the right too. As I'm always saying all the time, you guys, Lampard believes in rotation in the final third. He wants to see players swapping positions. So just because we see a player starting in one position doesn't mean he's going to consistently play there and remain there throughout the entire 90 minutes. So I feel like in that respect, we've got to cut Lampard a little bit of slack. But I guess the only frustration I'd say I had from this game was one particular moment inside the box where it was abundantly clear that Harry Maguire had his arms all around Azpilicueta. And of course, because they were wrapped around his shoulders, that meant when Azpi wanted to jump and leap and obviously attack the header in the air, he couldn't do that. Absolutely crazy that in this day of VAR that a decision like this isn't seen and no action has been dealt with, because for me that was a clear penalty, and if that penalty was given and had been scored, the entire complexion of this game becomes absolutely different. There's more space. United leave more space in behind there, pushing more men forward, and then things start to happen. So I still don't understand why there wasn't any retrospective action either. Doesn't make any sense to me, and it just felt like that was a moment that went away from us. Now, I'm sure that people might say, what about the penalty decision that United could have possibly had? It cancels things out. Honestly, I don't think so, because if we get that penalty, the entire course of events becomes absolutely different, and that penalty decision doesn't even happen in the first place. So, poor refereeing. Hopefully this doesn't continue to affect us this season. That would be peak. But there you guys, that was the match for you to the 0-0 draw against Manchester United. Let's get my closing thoughts. People have been complaining about Lampard and the coaches for what seems like a lack of defensive organisation, positional play, etc, etc. And I think, as I've been saying, if you want to see that type of solidity, it does mean that it's going to affect what you do in attack. Today, this was abundantly clear. We show that we can defend when things happen, but one thing we have to learn is that we want to be a team that play on the front foot, that obviously take our game to our opponents, that force them to have to react to how we play. That's what we're trying to do, and to do that, you have to find that happy medium and balance between attacking and defending. Finding that balance can take a very long time. A very, very long time, but if you persist with it, if you maintain it, you see the beautiful results as we're currently seeing with Liverpool. So we have to be patient. We have to, constantly remember that this is a process, and every small advantage we see, that's going to build up with other small ones, and by the end of the season, we're going to see so many great things, you guys. So on that note, I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.